Hey everyone! Before we begin today, we wanted to invite your feedback on the show. We'd really love to hear your thoughts on potential topics and guests, as well as what you enjoy about the show and how we can make it even better. So please email us your thoughts at info@syncreate.org and we'll follow up with you. Creativity and community are absolutely vital in challenging times. Creativity is also consistently named one of the top skills of the 21st century, particularly with the advent of AI. Welcome to Syncreate, a show where we explore the intersections between creativity, psychology, and spirituality. We believe everyone has the capacity to create. Our goal is to demystify the process and expand the boundaries of what it means to be creative. What holds us back? Why do we get stuck, and how can we fully embrace our creativity? We talk with visionaries and change makers and everyday creatives working in a wide range of fields and media, from the arts to science, business, and technology. We aim to illuminate the creative process from imagination to innovation and everything in between. I'm Melinda Rothaus, and I help individuals and organizations bring their dreams and visions to life.
Hi, and I'm Charlotte Gulick, and I'm a writer, educator, and writing coach. We are the co-authors of a book on the creative process, also called Syncreate. At Syncreate, we're here to support your creative endeavors. If you have an idea for a project or a new venture and you're not sure how to get it off the ground, find us at syncreate.org. Our book, now available in both print and audiobook format, walks you through the stages of the creative process so you can take action on your creative goals. We offer resources, creative process tools, and coaching to help you bring your work to the world, including our monthly creativity coaching group. We'd be delighted for you to join us.
Welcome back to the Syncreate podcast. This is one of our Creative Spark mini episodes. And today we're going to be talking about how creativity saved our lives. And also, kind of another way to frame this is like, when have you used your creativity to get out of a jam? Kind of like that old show that some of us remember on TV back in the day, MacGyver, who was this guy who just with like a pocket knife and some chewing gum and a rubber band could fix anything anywhere at any time and was always like, creatively getting himself out of all kinds of situations. So we thought it would be fun to do an episode like really, truly, like creativity can save your life in certain situations, whether it's more like literally or metaphorically. And so an example that comes to mind for me was when I started writing songs. And this was, I had finished my first master's. I was sort of like, I'd moved to San Francisco, started a job that I was really excited about, didn't work out. Was kind of down in the dumps. It was a rainy winter and there was a lot going on in my personal life. And it was just a really challenging time. I would say it was probably the most depressed I've ever been in my life. And that's actually when I started writing songs, partly because I was a bit lonely and had some time on my hands. But it was like a great way for me to channel what I was feeling and what I was dealing with. And, I'd been a musician and a singer for a really long time. And I had, taken some bass lessons and things like that. But this is when I like really, truly started writing the songs that, appeared on my first album. And, it was like quite cathartic in a way and a way to kind of like voice my struggles in a sort of creative and, somewhat positive way. So it's not like, creativity saved me from a burning building, but kind of metaphorically, it did emotionally and psychologically. So, how about you, Charlotte?
Well, I'm just thinking about that, like the when we claim ourselves And I think the creative process is one of the ways to claim ourselves. And I
Mhm.
mean, like, to investigate, to know, to who is our authentic self. Like that it is life-saving.
Mhm.
Um, and I think it's not just it's how we move out of just surviving into thriving. The
Yes.
creative process holds the potential for us to do that alchemical work so that, yeah, these terrible things have happened to me because that's part of life. But the creative process allows me to become um, ownership of it and like decide what I'm going to do with it creatively.
Mhm. Yes.
Um, it's making me think about because, I have this weird, no, we shall say, interesting hearing habit of I don't quite hear accurately. So for years, I thought that antidote and anecdote were the same words. So I was like, that person just needs a good antidote and they'll be okay. Oh, snake bite, just tell them a good story,
Right.
And I was like 25 when I figured out that there was actually a difference between I mean, I could see them, but here I do not have distinguishing hearing. But now I've actually decided this is I think a good story can save your life. An anecdote can be the antidote.
Yes.
Or the song, or like whatever it is.
Mhm.
So um I'm thinking, yeah, again about the alchemical, like I am saying yes to myself. And it also makes me think about this chapter in a Natalie Goldberg book. I think it's in the book Wild Mind, where there's a story of a woman who was working with a therapist. And the therapist said, I want you to figure out what you like for yourself.
Mhm.
Not horses because your dad liked horses or, pretty pillowcases because your mom liked pretty, like, what is it? And the woman didn't know.
Mhm.
And it took her, a month to figure it out, and she came back and she said, "I authentically know that I like chocolate." And from there, she built her authentic self. It's like this encounter with ourselves, so not we're letting go of people pleasing, all those things to kinda like, "I'm gonna be with myself." And then that creativity is the conduit for, like, what we decide to do with it.
Yeah.
Um It makes me think about my dad, who, was a very working class fellow, but he also played the piano, and I wonder about the relationship between his playing the piano and his ability to, as you pointed out, old school say, MacGyver solutions.
Mhm.
He was very creative with baling wire or yeah. And I think about those things that come, like, what did I inherit from him watching him do that? So, in June, we went on a trip to see loons because my mother loves this bird.
And a loon is a type of
It's a it's
waterfowl.
yes, it's a type of waterfowl, yes. Um, my mom loves them so much that her phone ring is a loon,
Oh,
and you're like,
wow.
"What the hell is that?" And she has loons on the side of her
She
car, like
knows what she loves.
she knows what she loves. And she'd been on one trip before to see them, and she saw one loon, and so we were gonna take her, and we went to the Canadian border, and we were do it. We saw one loon,
Oh gosh. The
and we're
single
on
loon.
a single
A
loon,
play
and
in 3 acts.
they're huge birds too. So we're in the Thousand Island area, and we're on a pontoon boat, which Drew has never driven before. And I'm like, "Go over there." I had a hunch, and so we went, and then we got hung up on shoals. So we're on a pontoon boat, and we're hung up on shoals. There's a loon with its neck all the way out, feeling like real threatened and stuff. And we had a friend and they were like, "What do we do? What do we do?" I'm like, "Oh, let's all shift our weight over here. Oh, let's shift our weight over here. Let's try this." Like that was totally a creative response
Yes.
to well, I mean,
Like, "We've
she was
run
like,
aground."
we run aground. Do we call the Coast Guard? No, we creatively. That's how we do it. Eventually, Drew got into the water and pushed us out, so it was fine.
Well,
Uh,
another creative solution.
Another creative solution. But I mean, like, if we hadn't thought about how could we see this problem through different lenses? How could we change our approach so that we get unmoored from the shoal? Like, that's totally the creative process. So that one flippin' loon, "Are you happy, mom?" Um, so, um,
Quite an adventure.
it was an adventure.
We've got some
It was
nautical
loony.
themes going on here.
Yes, we do have nautical things going on. So, if you're thinking to yourself, these two chatting right now, how does this solve problems in my life? I think it's like, can I be creative with the problem that's in front of me? Can I look at it from another angle? If I were to create a frozen moment, a tableau per se, and I saw it through somebody else's perspective, how how could that help me move through this moment that might be difficult otherwise? Um,
Yes. And we do have something bordering on a life or death shared experience. So we've talked about this before, but when we went to Louisiana some years back to rescue my mom from Hurricane Ida and as well as her cat from whom she had become separated. And we were in the swamps of outside of Lake Charles, Louisiana, and we got shaken down by a very angry man who was threatening to hang me upside down by my ankles and shake me for loose change, I quote. Um, you sort of got us out of that pinch by some quick thinking on your feet.
it's true. It's true.
Talking him
You
off
know,
the ledge with your mediation skills. I'm sorry, sir, I don't think I caught your name. I'm Charlotte. Like,
let's
let's
start over
start
here.
over here. Like, this is totally
Yeah,
insane, and are we about to get shot? And, okay, let's take a fresh
yeah.
start.
What's our common goal in this moment where you're threatening to hang my friend by her ankles off the porch that might also be falling off because of a hurricane? Uh, yeah, that was creativity in action, right?
It really was, and at the very least, you gave us a little time until the person who had the cat was able to appear and, diffuse. I mean, you diffused, but I
It was like
and then I ran
stalling a
away
little bit.
and got the cat while you continued to talk with the insane guy.
Who was also displaced from the hurricane, right? So, like,
Yes,
he
right.
was trying to establish ego or something again. I'm thinking about classic storytelling move when you said, "And my mother somehow became separated from her cat." That is like disasters like, when the 2 primary characters get separated,
Right.
"Oh, no!"
You go
Like,
this way, I'll go that
go that way.
way.
Audience is immediately tense. I mean, it was not fun for your mom to live that or the cat to live it or for us to encounter it. And they came back together just in
Yes,
case
they
people
were
were worried
reunited. We hightailed it back to Texas, and
with
we
your
we
mother
lived
and a
to tell
cat.
the tale.
And this was, I mean, to bump up the creativity, I got to hear some of your mom's cat poems.
Oh, yes, my mom shared her
And that
cat
was
poems
awesome.
on the car ride.
Yes.
Yes,
See, I
yes,
never knew your mom composed cat poems.
yes, yes, right there
See,
in her
it was
head.
great.
Yeah, that was definitely an adventure. So, yeah, so there's all kinds of ways we can use our creativity to get ourselves out of a pinch, or whether it's a real life or death situation or something more metaphorical. But our pro tip is to, have you think about, when have you used your creativity to deal with a difficult situation, whatever that might look like in your own experience. So, again, in this idea of everyday creativity, it's not necessarily some rarefied thing. Every time we're using our creative problem solving skills, we're exercising our creativity.
And that makes me think about how we talk about this in our book is, I mean, one of our goals with folks is to help them feel like they have more facility with the creative process. And we talk about divergent and convergent thinking. And that for me, that's like, oh, I'm in a jam. Which kind of thinking would be useful to me? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's such an empowered approach to creativity and just life itself.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining the Syncreate podcast today. Find and connect with us on YouTube and social media under Syncreate. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and leave a review.
We're recording today at Record ATX Studios in Austin, Texas, with Charlotte joining us from the Hudson Valley. The podcast is produced in collaboration with Mike Osborne at 14th Street Studios. Thanks so much for being with us, and see you next time.